Your intentions are clear. You've already set them out. The universe knows exactly what you want. The universal mind knows what your deep passion is. And trust deeply that the universe is shuffling and shifting right now to make all of those things possible. All of those experiences you are going to be manifesting and attracting. But the only thing you have to do is let go. Because as you will hear in today's video episode, you are in the middle of a great clash of forces, of voices between you, to either move forward in full surrender to this higher power, higher intelligence, or hold back with your ego, with your fears, with your anxiety, with your insecurities. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. There is a battle inside of you between who you were and who the universe is pushing you to be. That tension, that struggle, you feel it, don't you? You know that the universe has begun a great work in you, but at times the process seems slow. The transformation seems incomplete. You wonder, universe, God, when will I finally see the change? When will I step into the fullness that you started? But let me tell you something. The universe doesn't start something that it doesn't intend to finish. This purpose is still alive in you. And today, as we focus our minds in prayer and visualization, this might be the moment that changes everything for you. There comes a time when you either walk with the universe or wrestle with the universe. Surrender is not weakness. It is the most powerful thing you can do in the hands of the almighty powers of the universe. When you release your plans, your worries, your doubts into the hands of the universe, something supernatural begins to happen. The weight that you had been carrying on your back, the struggles that have been exhausting you. Oftentimes people pray or they do manifestation, but they really don't trust on a deep level. They believe only until things get difficult. But let me remind you that faith is not believing only when things are easy. Faith is having surrendered even when things are difficult, not because you have given up, but because you want to allow the power, the force to work through you. This is why my book is called From Fear to Freedom, because here you can really begin to surrender, and that's when higher consciousness steps in. That's when the miracles begin. That's when the breakthrough comes. Look at your life right now. Look at the areas where you are still holding on. Is it your future? Is it about your past? Is it about your finances, your health, your relationships? Whatever it is, the universe is asking you to trust it. The same universe that breathes life into you, who formed you in your mother's womb, who kept you alive and thriving. The problem is not that God is not working, but that we resist when we are taken down a path we didn't expect. We ask for full blessings, but we reject the blessings when they're on their way. We refuse to let go of what's holding us back. So today I'm challenging you. Will you surrender? Will you release your fears, your doubts, your need to control? Because the universe is waiting. The universe has been shaping you, molding you, refining you. The delays you have experienced, the pain you have endured was not useless. The journey you have walked was not in vain. Every moment is a part of the process of a divine plan. And now the universe is asking you to trust it completely. Some of you have been praying for a breakthrough, but your breakthrough is on the other side of your surrender. Some of you have been asking for a sign, but the universe is waiting for your obedience. Some of you have been longing for a move of the universe, a symbol, but the universe is saying, let go and watch what I will do. There is something happening through you, and it's not finished yet. It's not finished. So right now, wherever you are, take a deep breath. Release every fear, every doubt. Lift your hands high and say, I surrender. Say, universe, I surrender. I surrender. And when you do this, the universe will continue the good work that they have started through you. And this is just the beginning. When you surrender, you align yourself with the universal divine purpose, where nothing is wasted and everything works for your good. But the truth is, surrender is not always easy. It requires trust, complete and unwavering trust. It requires you to lay down your own plans, your own expectations, and even your own understanding. That's why so many struggle with it. They want the universe to move, but they still want to hold on to control. They want the universe to lead, but they're afraid to let go of what is familiar. They want the universe to bless them, but they hesitate when the universe asks you to step up in faith. The enemy knows that if they can keep you in a place of hesitation, you can be kept from walking in the universal light. That's why the enemy, meaning the internal saboteur, tries to convince you that surrender is dangerous. But let me tell you something. The safest place you can be is in the hands of the universe. The greatest security you can have is in the will of this higher consciousness. And the greatest freedom you will ever experience is when you finally let go and trust this universal will. Think about Pericles, the great leader of Athens, having the vision of building the Acropolis and making it into the most majestic temple. And all people were against him. He had people fighting against him about this vision. And yet, through the will of Zeus and through his surrender to the trusted the goddess Athena and Zeus, in other words, he surrendered his power into a greater power. Some of you may feel like Pericles right now, who had the vision of the Acropolis, but you know that you have been called to your dreams. But because you're not sure how it will happen, your faith wavers, okay? And many things seem to be going in the opposite direction for you. But hear me now. The delay is not the end. The process is not a punishment. The universe is preparing you. You are being refined. You are being positioned for something greater than you can comprehend. But you must surrender. You must trust that the universe knows what they're doing. You see why you surrender? You don't lose control. You're giving it to the one who controls everything. When you surrender, you don't give up. You're actually stepping into a greater plan. When you surrender, you don't become weak. You become stronger than ever because now you are operating in the universal strength. The universal power, the power of Source, or as they would say in Star Wars, the Force is with you. Moses had to surrender his fears before he could lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Okay? Alexander the Great had to surrender his comfort before stepping up into battle and overcoming the Persians and taking over the whole known civilized world. Now, every time they surrendered to the will of the great power that's far greater than their own power, they were able to realize and manifest their vision. You right now feel stuck. But what if the universe is saying to you, let go and watch what I will do? You see, surrender is not just a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. Every day you must wake up and say, universe, I trust you more than I trust myself. I believe your plan is better than mine. I release my fears, my doubts, my control, and I place everything in your hands. When you live this way, you start to see the universe work in ways you never expected. Doors begin to open, miracles begin to unfold. The very things you were striving for actually come to you and chase after you. There are things in your life right now that the universe wants to do through you, but it's waiting for you to surrender. There are prayers that have not been answered yet, not because God is unwilling, but because the universe is waiting for you to fully go in trust. There are breakthroughs that have been delayed, not because the universe has forgotten, but because the universe is waiting for you to let go of the old way. Surrender is an act of faith. You say to the universe, even when I can't see the full picture, I believe your work here. Even when I feel like I'm losing, I know you are leading me to something greater. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. That is the kind of faith that releases the power of the universe into your life. When you surrender, you allow the universe to shape you. And sometimes the shaping process is painful. Sometimes it requires breaking before rebuilding. Sometimes it means letting go of relationships that are not aligned with His will. Sometimes it means stepping into uncomfortable places where your faith is stretched. But every time, without fail, surrender leads to greater glory. Every time, surrender positions you to the next level. The reason many people remain stuck is that they refuse to surrender. They want God to move, but they're still holding on to their own plans. They want God to bless them, and they are unwilling to let go of what is blocking the blessing. They want God to use them, but they're still clinging to their comfort zones. But what the universe is saying today, if I will trust you, I will take you further than you've ever dreamed. If you surrender, I will open doors you never thought possible. If you let go, I will pour out blessings that will overwhelm you. Think of somewhere where you were pushing very hard in your life, but the moment you surrendered, things actually started coming to you. If you're truly honest with yourself, you'll see that there have been moments in your life, or you may have noticed in someone else's life, someone who you admire, that because they have the power of surrender, of letting go, it actually gives them more power. It aligns them with their divine purpose. It aligns them with joy. It aligns them with fun. It aligns them with the erotic, sensual, sexual energy. Now, if you're afraid of what surrender may require, whatever you give up for this higher good, you will have it returned 100-fold. Whatever you surrender, the universe will use it to bring you into a destiny beyond your wildest dreams. Right now, The universe is calling you. You are being called to a place of complete trust. You are being asked to lay down every burden, every fear, every hesitation, and simply say, "Universe, I surrender." And when you do that, something shifts in your spirit. When you do, heaven moves on your behalf. Reality will shift. When you do that, the chains that have been holding you back begin to break. Remember Plato's cave and the prisoners? We're all prisoners in a cave until we realize we're prisoners, and then we begin to free ourselves and are guided by the light. So understand that Plato's story was trying to tell you that there is a bigger reality out there for you. And if you just trust it, you can receive a lot more than you have ever imagined. So wherever you are, lift your hands and say, "Universe, I surrender." Because when you do, the work that has been started in you will continue. And what has begun through you, you will surely finish. Surrender is not just about giving up control. It's about stepping into divine alignment. And bring your hands down now. You are positioning yourself for something greater than you can comprehend. But the challenge of surrender is that it often requires you to walk into the unknown. It calls for you to step into a place where you don't have all the answers, where you don't see the full picture, and where you must rely on faith alone. That is why so many people hesitate. They want to follow the higher law of the universe, but they also want certainty. They want to trust the call of the universe, but they also want to know how everything's going to work out. In the end, faith doesn't work that way. Faith is trusting in what you cannot see, believing in what has not yet manifested, and walking forward even when the path ahead is unclear. There are things God is calling you to do, but you are hesitating because you don't have all the details. There are places you want and you need to be taken to. The universe wants to take you there, but you're afraid because you don't see the full picture. But if you wait until you have all the answers, you will never move. If you wait until you fully understand, you will never step into the destiny that God has prepared for you. That's why surrender is essential. It's saying, God, I don't need to know every step. I don't need to have all the answers. I don't need to understand everything. I just need to know that you are leading me. And when you live like that, you walk in the supernatural. You experience God in ways you never imagined. Think of Walt Disney, who saw the swamps there in Florida and envisioned a castle there, envisioned the Walt Disney. And everyone thought he was nuts. His deep belief was if you can dream it, you can do it. And that is so. We have been given our imagination so that we can imagine the life we want. That's our real reason for being here on earth, to imagine our dream life and live it. So what is holding you back? There are blessings with your name on them, but they're on the other side of your obedience and your surrender. The question is, will you trust the universe even when you don't understand? Will you say yes even when you don't see the full picture? Your dark side, your limiting side will always try to convince you to go back and hold back. It will fill your mind with fears and past disappointments. They will tell you that surrender is too risky, but the truth is that the real risk is refusing to surrender. The real danger is staying in a place of fear and hesitation, because when you refuse to move forward, you forfeit the blessings that the universe has in store for you. When you hold on to your own plans, you limit what the universe can do in your life. But when you let go, you truly surrender, Heaven moves on your behalf. God steps into your situation and things begin to shift. Now, many of you are holding on to things that the universe has been asking you to release. You're holding on to relationships, fear, envy, resentment. You're holding on to old mindsets that are blocking your breakthrough. But the universe is saying, let it go. Trust me. Trust I have something better. That's what the universe is telling you. The problem is many people want God to give them something new while they're still clinging to the old. They want the universe to bring fresh blessings while they're still holding on to what they know they have to release. But you cannot receive what the universe wants to give you if your hands are full. Look at the men of Alexander the Great. When Alexander the Great recruited them and said, we're going to India, we're going to Pakistan, we're going to this area of the Asia, we're going to conquer. They surrendered. They walked with Alexander the Great. They witnessed miracles. They witnessed history in the making. They made history. They had an outpouring of wealth, abundance, wives, power. What if they had tried to hold on to their old life back in northern Greece or wherever? They would have missed the greatest calling of their lives. And the same is true for you. There is a calling on your life. There is a purpose that the universe has assigned to you. It requires surrender, though. It requires obedience, though. It requires faith. Some of you are waiting for everything to be perfect before you surrender. You're waiting for the right time, the right situation, the right circumstances. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you will never step out. If you wait until it makes complete sense, you will never move forward. Surrender is not about waiting for things to be perfect. It is about trusting the universe in the middle of the uncertainty. It is about saying, universe, I don't have all the answers, but I trust you. I don't know how this will work out, but I believe you are leading me. I don't know every step, but I surrender to your plan. There is something powerful that happens when you truly surrender. Worry begins to fade. Fear begins to lose its grip. Anxiety is replaced with peace. Because when you surrender, you place your burdens in the hands of the universe. So, my dear friend, what I want to tell you as a message today is to really let go and let God. Now, who is God? God is the game overall director that is intricately linked with your psyche. You can see God as being the sun and each one of us being a ray of that sun, linking back always to the central intelligence of God, the game overall director. So when you let go and let God, you can really feel safe finally, surrender finally to the fact that you have a great protector, guardian, and that is life, the universe.